This is an update to Savage Lands! I'm Eustace the Monk. Savage Lands just dropped a really huge update not too long ago, like over 1 gig. So I revisited it real quick to see what was changed. As always, if you haven't seen my original review, then you might be a little lost. So just click that link in the upper right of your screen there to watch all of that first if you'd like. The first thing I notice is that there's a total change in the UI. It's much more clean and compact now. And there's also the hunger, health, cold, stamina thing is handled totally different now. As you get hungry, the hunger portion of the hunger stamina bar fills with hunger, thereby limiting your total stamina. Same thing with cold and health. The colder you get, the less total health you can have. It's pretty much like we saw in Fallout 4 with the health rads bar. Worked pretty well in Fallout, and I'm not too sure it works out pretty well here. I mean, the hunger stamina is pretty cool, but is being cold bad enough that it dings your health? And you'll notice that my health is staying low even after I warm up, unlike my stamina, which recovers. And frankly, I'm not sure that getting a little cold is the health equivalent of getting gouged by a tusk of a wild boar. It just seems really bizarre that it would cause lingering injuries just to be cold. Anyhow, the silly thing about this system is once you get your fire built and have a regular source of food, it's not really an issue anymore, so they could switch it back to the old way and it would work just fine. As a matter of fact, I think I'd prefer that. I liked having the cold being separate from your health and your stamina. That seemed to be a good system. The Sundered Isle is now a totally different map. The new one is better balanced than the old one, and you'll find remnants of former inhabitants sooner, so you won't have to wander the frozen woods starving and getting lost immediately upon starting the game. And you're also not finding really strong weapons on the shore of the beach like you could in the old map. There's a wrecked village with some wood stacked up and a cotton farm, so you can have some supplies to begin with without feeling like it's just being handed to you. As a matter of fact, if you try to explore around too much in the beginning game, you'll end up meeting a somewhat unpleasant characters who will bash your skull in, and there's little you can do to fight them. I didn't want to show you any spoilers, but they're pretty close by from the starting village. There's a herd of wild pigs that respawn around the starting village, and they'll provide you with plenty of food. Well, they usually provide you with plenty of food. The pigs that you hunt will sometimes not have anything on them, and they won't have anything on them with an alarming frequency. The loot prompt just doesn't come up when you hover over the corpse, so you've hunted this creature for no benefit and you'll have to go chase after another one. And the corpse doesn't despawn because it hasn't been looted. So sometimes my village was littered with pig corpses that I could never loot and they wouldn't despawn. I assume this is a bug rather than a ridiculous game mechanic that not all hunted creatures have any meat or usable supplies, but it needs to be fixed as soon as fucking possible. It's really annoying. Another thing that needs tweaking is the tools wearing out. They seem to turn to dust after a few uses. They wear out so quickly that it's just absolutely absurd. Luckily, you'll craft some stone tools that only need a single stone to repair them, but it's still annoying. And it makes the flint tools worthless because they require flint to repair, and flint is harder to come by in the beginning game. Top tip, skip the flint tools and craft stone tools right away. You'll save valuable resources. Speaking of crafting, the crafting system has been improved quite a bit. Several types of crafting stations have been added, so you have to craft intermediate items now in order to build a real stone house or craft leather armor. And they've added a fuck ton of recipes for craftable weapons and armor. There's so many recipes that it's sometimes tough to find what you're looking for. In my opinion, the developers would help us out a lot by just adding a search recipe function. I'm still reviewing this game in parallel with The Forest, because they're two very similar games. However, the gameplay experiences in the two games are starting to diverge. Savage Lands is starting to be a game where you build one base and stay there, slowly exploring further and further away from it. The starting village that you find has everything you need to survive, and the crafting system is set up in such a way that you'll be gradually building crafting structures to make more complicated recipes. You used to be able to build a house right away in this game, but now you'll need more crafted materials, so it'll take more gameplay to build a real house. And you won't be getting run off your base by monsters, so it'll give you some time to build. The game is still pretty awesome despite the flaws I was complaining about, and I'd still recommend it. However, you can probably pick either Savage Lands or The Forest. They're both still pretty similar. Go ahead and check out my Forest review videos and kind of compare and contrast, and then you can probably just get one.